What's going on, everybody? Matt Malatesta here with one of our favorites, Shaun Stevens, St. Pius X, the Panthers. All right, tight game, tough game. We're going to talk about that later. But hey, I'm still not sure everybody knows the Shaun Stevens I know. So hey, tell the journey of football for you, and that's what I love about coaches. They all have a great story. Your story is what? From playing football. Talk about you playing football first. And what did you learn the most as a life lesson while playing?
Man, so I guess you think about them landmark times in your life. So one of the first times I ever played football was second grade. I remember I was living in Acres Home off Little York, and we'd never ever played football before. We'd always play basketball. We'd get those little baskets from Kroger's, hang them on the fence, and we play basketball. And I sucked. Like I couldn't hit the basketball inside this huge basket, right? And I'm just like, dude, what the heck? And I remember one day they decided to play football. I'd never played football before. So we began to play football, and man, it was like all those other kids that were really talented in basketball. It was like I finally found my own niche, right? It was just first time I touched the ball, I was doing stuff that was a lot different than I ever thought I could do, right? I was fast, I was quick, I'm jumping over people, and we're playing freaking touch in the street and tackle in the grass, which really turned into tackle in the grass and tackle on the street. And so after that, I never played again until I got to middle school, which was seventh grade at F1 Black Middle School. I played there. I played running back, seventh grade and eighth grade year. And then I transitioned into Waltrip High School, where I played running back my freshman, sophomore year. And I transitioned into a receiver, which was a great thing that happened. It's so funny because I think about a lot of the kids now, they approach coaches. I mean, they're willing to tell coaches whatever, right? Hey, coach, you got me in the wrong position. I need to be playing this. Back then, dude, I was so scared to tell my coaches I needed to switch positions. Dude, we had like 5 stud running backs, and we run I formation. So it's not like we're at some spread system. We're I formation. And so my coach comes up to me. He's just like, hey, man, look, we're going to move you to receiver. We feel like it's going to give you a better chance to play. And I was like, God, thank you so much for that. And, dude, I played. I was all state, all district, got opportunity to go off to college and play football. I went to Prairie View A&M. I was a 4-year starter there. And the 2 classes that came in, my class and the following class were really, really good. My head coach, Coach Frazier, did a great job recruiting. And our class was the first class to win the SWAC championship in like 20-something years. And so you asked about life lessons. So when I got to college and the group of guys that I surrounded myself with, and they were hard workers, they held people accountable. And I saw how that, like, it took over the team. Like, all of a sudden, everyone on the team, they're seeing some of the better players work hard. Like, we go to 3 workouts when you're only supposed to go to 1. And all of a sudden, the team started becoming hard workers. We started holding guys accountable. Then they started holding themselves accountable. And I saw how that helped the team become so much better. And as a coach, we coach and we teach the kids, but your better teams are the teams that have the player-led teams. And so what I learned as a player and from the game of football is how to lead, right? How to hold people and yourself accountable, how to work hard, how to fight through adversity. And so, like, the game of football, I tell a lot of parents all the time how special it is and how there's so many life lessons that you learn in the game of football that other sports have, but they don't have the physicality that comes along with it that makes it more so like real life. Like, I get knocked on the ground literally, right? In life, we have hard days and times where we feel like we get knocked on our butts, and we got to be able to get back up and keep pushing forward. So the game of football is special, when it's treated right.
And that's what, we can talk about wins and losses all you want, but really it's people's journey. And, it's not by happenstance that you end up at St. Pius. I mean, look, you have to work at it. I mean, it is a grind, and you've got to promote yourself and believe in yourself. And, so you get out of, playing football, and then you get right into coaching. Talk.
I
Good.
So when I left Prairie View, I went in and played arena football for like 2 or 3 years, right? I played for the Omaha Beavs, a San Antonio Talent, had a couple injuries, got cut, released, changed to another team. And my little brother was also going to F1 Black Middle School, right? So I decided to come back and help him. He was beginning to go to Waltrip High School. So I basically volunteered for, shoot, probably like 3 years of just volunteering my time, right? Couple years at Waltrip. And then I went to Luther North and volunteered there my first year. So I volunteered for about 3 or 4 years. I coached Little League. And then I coached, I say not volunteer, right? You get it paid for 8 years at Luther North, right? And so a lot of people didn't know that I was there that long. They just knew me when I became the head coach and we started having success. They didn't know that I was a part of the teams that were 0-10, 2-8, 7-3, that we had worked so hard to build up to become successful. And you kind of was getting ready to hit on this, like people see you whenever you become successful and they assume that, wow, man, he got lucky. And dude, me and a lot of other people I know, coaches, they worked their butts off to get to where they were at. Like for me to get this job is a big deal for me because, man, this was one of the high schools that when I was in high school, this was one of the best high schools in the state of Texas. Like this is a special school. And for me to kind of, my buddy, Coach V would say, cut my teeth, right? Work hard to grind to get to where you're at. Like I spent a lot of years at a school that school is now shut down, right? Let's talk about, and so like I was there working my butt off for years, 8 years. Had a great head coach and Coach Robbins that told me, he asked me one day after I said I was going to volunteer, he's like, do you really want to be a coach? And I was like, yes, I do. And he said, well, something that you're going to have to do is this. You need to watch football clinics and go to football clinics. And I'm a big proponent of like, once you give me a template of what to do, man, I'm on and running. So he's like, do that, watch a clinic a day, right? So I go and pay for all these different things. He paid for them at first for me. And dude, you talking about 8 years straight of watching a football clinic, and it really was more than that, right? You ask my wife, she said I was probably watching 7, 8 a day, right? But you do that for 8 years, like the football knowledge and things that you're going to learn on top of actually going out and training kids and working with kids on a day-to-day basis, man, you become a master coach, right? Still got a lot of growing to do, but you become so much better than what you were if you continue to grind and work. Same thing we continue to preach to the kids. So after that, the 2 years of being the head coach at Lutheran North, I ended up getting a great opportunity to go with Coach Dixon at one of the really, really good HISD schools, Heights High School. And it was tough at first, and it got really, really good, right? Being in the belly of the beast of 6A football is a little different than being, in small school, private school, right? There's some things you can do in small school, private school that you ain't going to be able to do at 6A, right? Small private school might have a team of 2 good players. Now you're playing a team with 22 good players, right? Everybody's fast. And so I grew a lot as a coach, just understanding that, like, there's more to coaching than just calling plays, right? It was totally different. I mean, it was totally different. Then coming into a new school that had already been successful and taking over the offensive side of the ball and trying to build a culture there, that was another thing that was really, really tough to do. But 2 years in, 3 years in, man, it was really, really good. We had some really, really big wins there. Stratford win, the Side Springs win, the Memorial win, which we hadn't beat Memorial in years. But the journey has been it's been fun. I've always been a person that enjoyed the process, and a lot of things that I try to preach to the kids about. Like if you really love the process, like no matter how long the journey is, you're going to be successful because the process is what you're going to be a part of longer than all those small successes.
So y'all head into a bye week. How important is this bye week? Get rested, get, kind of reset, get healthy. And then after that, you go into St. Thomas. Just talk about is it a great time to have a bye week, or y'all are still wishing y'all were just kept playing?
No, that was a great time to have a bye week. You go into one of the biggest games in district. It's great to have an extra couple days to prepare for them. So this is perfect. We went 3 really, really tough games. Kids got banged up a little bit. It's football. So this is a good time for them to heal up. Had a couple kids, take some ice baths. We're still working out, doing all those things, still having practice, but this is the perfect time to have a bye week. We get a chance to continue to grow our JV players because they have a game this week. But this is, if I get to pick when the bye week will be, yes, it would definitely be before our biggest game.
Yeah, heading into St. Thomas, just what will you work on? What will be some of the keys to that game?
So if you're a football coach, get the ball to your best players. Stop them from getting the ball to their best players. Stop their best players. So I guess I'll talk to some of the things. They have I watched the last couple of games that they played. They're currently 0-3, right? Which 0-3 means nothing, right? Because they play some really, really good football teams. Areas that they were strong in weekend. It's not the same St. Thomas from last year, of course, right? They graduated a lot of seniors, but it's still a good football program. So record aside, they're still a tough program. I know for us, I did a little leak, right? The first day all these kids decided they want to play football at St. Pius, I sent out a link. Hey, put your name on it, phone number, mom, all this. And what are your goals for this year? Every kid, I'm talking about 70, 80 kids, win district. But the main thing on there was beat St. Thomas, right? So it is a huge rivalry. It's going to be packed. Then we get to have it at home. So that's awesome, right? Get a little bit of home field advantage. So no, this is I'm very, very excited, and the kids are super excited. The admin's excited, the parents are excited. This is gonna be a really, really good game.
Finally, just give us, as you're getting these guys, who do you feel like individually, what kids are kind of emerging, stepping up?
Yeah. Man, before I say that, I'm gonna say this. Sam Williams, CJ Fowler, Sam's linebacker, CJ's playing defensive end for us, really good football players. Caden, and then I want to say Braxton. Just want to give a shout out to them because how they handled adversity this last week. Man, no complaining, no whining is what we always talk about. Handle adversity and push through. So I just want to give them a little quick shout out. Some of the players that have been having a lot of success the last couple of games. The young man who's a sophomore, Amir. He had 2 touchdowns last game. For like 115 with like a minute 50 left in the game against Houston Christian. He catches like a 70-yard ball, before they go down and kick a field goal, right? He's pretty good. And you can say guys are good, but it more so comes down to, well, what is he doing on the field? And he's having a lot of production on the field. Next guy, I would say, hit on some guys on the defensive side is Marcos at inside linebacker. Sam stepped up big last week. Really like the other inside linebacker kid, Marcos, did really well. Who else has been? Our quarterback had a good game last game, solid game. He had another 2 games, passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown, similar to the week before. He's constantly progressing. Who else has been lighting it up a little bit? CJ Fowler also is one of our defensive ends. He had a lot of success. Who else? A couple guys that have been really successful, but the guy that really stands out the most, it would be definitely offensively would be Amir. Man, he's a touchdown machine right now, and to be only a sophomore, what he's been doing has been insane. Other kid, Cooper Brown, had a good game. He had multiple touchdowns. He had a touchdown call back and a couple catches called back. But those guys, I would say, would be the guys that stood out the most to me.
Well, you're close, man. You're right on the cusp of something big.
Yeah.
St. Thomas is coming up next.
Yep.
With the bye week, hey, get healthy. Get that ice bath with them, man. Just cool the heels. Get healthy with your guys. We're excited about this upcoming game. You're right. It is one of the biggest games in the city of Houston as it relates to private school football, man. It's big, long-standing traditions with both of these schools. All right, Coach. We'll see you next week. This is Matt with VYPE with Shaun Stevens at St. Pius X. All right, Coach. See you at the games.